Let's begin with this. You can see my screen now, right? You can see the
Yeah,
PPT.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you
So,
also give us a PowerPoint from yesterday?
oh yes, yes, I'll give it to you today. I'll give you both of these, yesterday and today's PowerPoint after this session.
Uh,
Okay.
Okay. I have that PDF ready with me. I just missed out to drop it into the group. I'll do it today.
okay.
All right. So let's begin with this. So today we'll see chain of thought and tree of thought. So basically, what is chain of thought and why it is needed? Okay. So even before that, we need reasoning because without reasoning, we cannot just blindly follow the whole thing. We cannot blindly follow AI because AI produces shallow answers, makes logical errors, and provides inconsistent outputs that undermines your trust. And if AI is lying to you, lying is like, probably not the right word. If AI is making up stuff to tell you, and if you believe it blindly and you share the same thing with somebody else, then, suddenly it becomes your problem because you are the one who is making it up, not the AI, because you are sharing that stuff. So there has to be some reasoning layer, and with reasoning, you can get structured, transparent, and repeated results that you can validate and build upon with confidence. Because what AI does is, even if it is a lie or a wrong information, AI will tell you with full confidence because it does not understand the consequences of not sharing the right information. Now, a lot of models like uh, GPT-5 right now and Gemini's 2.5 Plus, they come wrapped up in a guardrails where these guardrails are there to prevent these models from making up information that does not exist, right? So these guardrails are built because there is first thing is there which we will touch in next probably 2-3 sessions. The first thing is AI ethics, and second thing is AI bias. So these biases are something which come inherently from the data that has been used or that has been collected to train the models. So, for example, case happened in case of Google Gemini probably a couple of years ago when they first released their image generation model, and it was not able to understand the prompts properly, and it was generating images based on the very dangerous bias. And if a person did what Gemini did, that person would be behind the bars for rest of his life. But since it was an AI model and the legal and other systems are not yet ready for AIs yet, so Gemini was able to escape that kind of thing.
Okay.
But what happened is when they released their first image generation model 2 years ago, people started using it to try it and everything. So a guy from some, some country, I don't remember the name of the country right now. So he put up a prompt that said, generate an image of Mother Teresa fighting poverty in South Africa. So this was the prompt that it gave. Now the prompt was very wide, it was very vague, but still Gemini took it and started generating images of it. So when you, as a human, when you listen something like this, when you hear something like this, you immediately understand that when you say Mother Teresa and fighting poverty in South Africa, he must be, distributing blankets or clothes, or maybe feeding those kids, or
Mhm.
maybe helping people build a shelter, which is very low cost or easy to maintain. This kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
image would come out something like that. But for the guy's surprise, the image came out like on the left side there was Mother Teresa standing in a fighting stance, holding two sticks in her hands. And on the right side, there were South African people, kids mostly,
Mhm.
and they were holding sticks in their hands and they were actually fighting with each other. So this was entirely the wrong depiction of the prompt that was given,
Okay.
right? So
Mhm.
what AI did not understood in this case is basically the meaning of the word fighting because the context was completely missing,
Okay.
right? So it
Right.
was not about that, it completely portrayed Mother Teresa in correct visuals. He was wearing her, popular attire. She was in the white dress that she always used to wear, and she was exactly looking like Mother Teresa. Everything was on spot on. The South African people, the children, everything, they were exactly in the same attire of traditional South African, whatever their culture is. They were exactly wearing the same thing. The backdrop was probably some kind of, sanctuary or something like that. There were mountains, there were plain land, there were trees in the background. Everything was there that you can see in South Africa. But the understanding of the word fighting, it got it completely messed up and generated exactly the wrong image it shouldn't have generated. And it did it with 100% confidence. So that's why these frameworks or these techniques are in place now. We call them guardrails, which prevent them from doing something like this in the future. So while prompting to avoid getting any made up data, we have these techniques in place which we can use to get the authenticated data and verified content.
Okay.
So let's see how chain of thought looks like step by step. So first thing of chain of thought is basically you have to break down a problem into smaller parts, and every part is then followed with logical progression. And then we validate each step, and that's how we get the valid output. Okay. So it may look like a simple thing. It does make a lot of difference when you start putting up AI into chain of thought scenarios, and it gives you a complete idea of how AI is thinking through the whole matter, whole problem, right?
Okay.
When we will start with the prompts and examples, we will hit the first wall that we will hit is the model that we are using, which is ChatGPT 5, is already smart enough to understand that if I ask a problem, which is a complex problem, it will not only give me the answer directly, it will also explain everything step by step. So, for the sake of understanding what happens when you don't do chain of thought, we have to give it a context that this is a chain of thought experiment, and you have to first you have to simulate not having chain of thoughts and directly provide the answers in one thought. And when I ask you explicitly, you have to give the step-by-step example. So that's what we have to do because the models have evolved pretty much well to directly get into the step-by-step thing. But you will see the difference still. What happens? Okay. So the first example that we will see here is it's a mathematical example. We'll have a simple multiplication getting done from ChatGPT, and that would be without any chain of thought thing. So we will go back to the ChatGPT thing. Let me just share that screen. So this is the screen. First, we'll set up the context. Uh, it's the same login that we used yesterday and day before that. So let's set up the context. The context is basically, I'll just read it out. This is a demonstration of chain of thought prompting. I'll ask you questions and you have to answer back in one shot. No long explanations. And after I ask you to explain it step by step, you can show me how you reach that answer. Okay, so let's see if it has got it. Right. So it's now thinking to understand what I'm saying. I don't know why that is needed, but let's see what it comes back with. I guess we can just skip it. Save time. Got it. Okay, fine. I'll give you direct answers and everything. So we have uh, 27, 27 multiplied by 43 equals how much? Okay. So it will give us an answer directly. The answer is 1167. And we got this answer. Now the answer is correct. The answer is not wrong actually. If you try to do it on a calculator, let me just try it once. So it's 1167. We'll ask another question. All right.
You know the answer for this?
No, I don't know the answer to this. I am just I'm just throwing things at it right now. All right. So now we have asked it two questions. It has given us answers. This answer is definitely correct. I have cross-checked it. This I have not cross-checked, but let's see how did it reach that answer. Okay. So let's ask it to explain it step by step. Now explain both step by step and how they view. Okay. Taking longer for a better answer. Uh, okay. It should show us what it is thinking as well because that is what the chain of thought is. Okay. So this is not our answer actually. It is it is just thinking on its own. It's not actually see now what it is saying is sorry, I can't share my internal chain of thoughts, but there is a clear step-by-step solution. So what it is doing is it is actually thinking about these things, but some guardrail that has been put on it for safety, it is telling us this. Sorry, I can't show you my chain of thought, but it is still showing us what how it is thinking and what it is.
It's ran a Python
Huh?
script, I guess.
Yeah, it is running a Python script in the background.
Hmm.
So now it is saying, I apologize for not being able to share my full chain of thoughts. However, here are the step-by-step solutions. And now it is giving up the step-by-step solution of everything,
Hmm.
right? So we'll just walk through it quickly. So first was 27 by 43 multiplied by 43. I can break it down as follows. So what it did is it first multiplied 27 by 40, which was 1080. Then it multiplied 27 by 3, and which was 81, right? And then it added this into this, these two answers, and created this. So it did not actually correctly multiply 27 to 42.
Hmm.
It broke down 43 into two parts, 40 and 3, and then did it. Now, when we do it, we don't do it this way, right? We never
Hmm.
did it this way. Even in school, we were taught maths and we were never taught it to do it this way. But somehow the AI model is preferring this way. Okay. Then
Hmm.
alternatively use the distributive property of 20 plus 7 and 40 plus 3 gives the same result. So now it is also trying to convert it into some kind of equation, right? So if you divide 27 into 20 plus 7 and 43 into 40 plus 3, and if you multiply 20 to 40 and 7 to 3, and then do some kind of addition or something, you will still get the same thing. That's what it is trying to say. Now, for the square root of this number, the square root of this number is 5715, and 5715 raised to 2 equals this. So it is also comparing with the square of this number, right? To
Okay.
approximate the square root, of this, I tried squaring 7500 and 7516, right? Which both are wrong answers, and found that 7515 squared was the closest,
Okay.
giving this number, which is not exactly what our number is. Okay, a difference of 6000 almost. Then I checked for 7516 raised to 2, which overshot. So 7515 was the best estimate. Let's also double check it using analysis step. So then it said, sorry, I can't say, and still it shared everything, and then it went back to this thing. So it is not exactly performing all the mathematical calculations like we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now it has put up all the answers and everything. It has also put out, put out the whole algorithmic steps, and then what it thought would work, which did not work, and then it did it again and got the answer and everything. So that is the thing. So instead of having this big of a number, let's change to what is the square root of 144, which we know which is 12, right? Explain, explain step by step. That's it.
It would be interesting whether it would not just get the right answer without any chain of thought.
Uh,
I think
Sorry, I did not.
if you ask it for the square root of 144, it will just answer with 12 and everything is fine.
Right, it will just answer like 12. But if you ask, can you explain it with step by step calculation? How you reach that answer? Okay. So now we'll get to see again how it is thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to know that the methods of calculation of AI are not similar to how we do it, right? So let's crunch this step by step. First, we notice that 144 is a perfect square. 12 and 12 multiplied by 12 equals 144. In fact, if you break it down, you can do it this way. And again, it is dividing it into two parts. So 12 is divided into 10 plus 2 into 10 plus 2 equal to 100. 10 into 10 is 100. And then again, it's 20, 24. So it's 144. I, I mean, I cannot begin to comprehend why this is needed when you can just directly reach to the answer quickly, but it is not exactly performing the calculations the way we do it,
Okay.
right? Then, so it has given us various methods. So first method is recognize that 144 equals to 12 plus 12 multiplied by 12. Then prime factorization. There is another method of reaching that answer with this. And then here are two methods. Method one, direct multiplication check, and that has worked. And then there is prime factorization method, which it has crunched a lot of numbers, and then it has reached the same answer. Okay. So now it is asking, want to see the long division method or what. So here it ends its thinking, and the short answer is 12, and the step-by-step concise answer is this. For method one is this, and prime factorization is this. If we ask it to explain this, show me the long division method. Now it will show me the long division method as well. I will read that answer. So it's actually doing the thing that we learned in the school, how to, how to divide a number till we reach its root. So it's that method. So now we can say that, it is giving us the right answer. Now this is something we already knew about, the square root of 144, or, the multiplication table or something like that. But we would like to try something which we don't know about, right? So let's see if it gives us the answer that is correct and valid, and we should be able to, you know, get the valid answers from. So let's try another math logic, but this time with a proper text example. Here's the problem. A shopkeeper sells a pen for rupees 120 after applying a 20% profit margin on the cost price. What is the cost price for the pen? Let's remove this thing step by step and see what happens. So it should just add 20% to 120. It should just remove that. So it's basically 100 rupees. The cost of pen is 100 rupees, right? So let's uh, step by step.
So also this answer is right, and I said it in the beginning, I did not understand chain of thought because you get the perfect answer without chain of thought.
Yes, actually, chain of thought, like I said, here we have to step. I'll scroll all the way to the top. Okay, first we have to set up. This is the demonstration of chain of thought concept. Now we have to set up this context first, because all the models that are out there now, even if it is ChatGPT or Gemini or any other model, they come with a built-in guardrails. That guardrails prevent these models from making up stuff. But sometimes a lot of content it generates that slips through those guardrails and still reach as a final answer. If we refer to the previous chat we did, this blockchain technology thing, if we refer to this chat, if we scroll up a bit, before we asked it for the references, the numbers were different. I guess we'll have to scroll up a lot more. Explain blockchain, act as a university professor, then, yeah, then it was, I guess, for research. And they should include one stats. Okay. So here we can say that now this is here the stat is 17.6 billion in 2023. Okay. So just focus on this part. This is something it has put out with very confidence, very big, 100% confidence that 17.6 billion in 2023 and 469 billion by 2030 with CAGR of 59%. Okay. So this line itself will change once we ask it for the reference. Right here we have act as university professor explaining a 14-year-old, and that is gone. Um, I guess somewhere we asked it to, you know, yeah.
Reference.
So you shared some stats earlier, and can you share the links of it? So now what it did is it changed. When we asked for links, it changed that to 11.14 billion in 2022, which matches with this link, right? So it's 469 billion, which is again different than 2020 at 2023 at the same 59.9% CAGR. So all this information now, this matches with this. But what we saw up there was a different information, and that information does not match anywhere. So that is why we need chain of thought to prove that whatever the data it is spitting out, it is authentic. Now we are just seeing examples of few mathematical calculations, something like that, just to understand how it thinks. Are you getting it, Thomas? Is the
No,
difference clear?
not really. I think it was nearly the same numbers, but it was 2023 in the first answer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here it is
Uh,
22.
it is 2022 in this answer, and the number there was 17.6, where the number is 11.4. So, in the previous answer for 2023, it made up some numbers because we asked it to put some stats into it. But when we asked for a proof of it, it changed those numbers. And it did not just change one thing, it changed the entire thing. Not just the number, it changed the year also, because that's what matches with the reference that it has.
So the first answer was just a Schätzung, I don't know the English word.
Right. So it was just
What
something that
just
was
an
put into it.
approximation from
Prediction.
ChatGPT or
Yes. It was a kind of a prediction, you can say, but there was no, uh, concrete base to that prediction. But when we asked for a concrete reference, it gave us this link, and the data then was changed to match this link. So that even if you click on it and check, you will see the same numbers on both sides.
and if we would ask it where did you get this number with the first numbers as the prompt, what would it answer?
Uh, let's see. Let's put that up. Where was it?
And what I see, the chat gets too big very fast.
Yes, it gets very big very fast. Good thing that it has the context window of 128,000 tokens. This here. Where did this number came from? Okay, let's see what it says. See, it said, I made a mistake earlier. The number I shared, 17.6 billion in 2023, projected to hit this thing, are very close to what some reports, especially by Fortune Business, say. But it is admitting now that it made a mistake. And but ones I quoted weren't exactly drawn from any confirmed sources. So it gave us the numbers, but they were not based on some source. Because we did not ask for any proof or any reference for those numbers, it gave us the numbers only, and there was no proof of it with ChatGPT that these numbers are correct. So now when we pinpoint that thing and ask for a proof, it is now giving us this answer.
I made a mistake. No. So basically you have to ask for the
Yes,
sources every time.
every time.
If
And
if
it
you
is
don't
okay.
do it,
Yes,
if you don't do it, you get everything but not real numbers.
right. So to get the sources, it is easy to get the source when you are asking about these kind of things. Like, we asked about blockchain and its global usage and all that. But we were able to ask for a source because it was somewhere on the website, so it was able to give us the link. But what if we are asking for something which is not on the internet, but which is
Internet.
something within this chat? We need to know whatever ChatGPT is responding as an output is valid. So we need to understand its chain of thought, how it reached that answer.
Okay, so chain of thought is mostly
Yes,
to get a confirmation that it did the
exactly.
right
Right.
thing.
Exactly. So you will get to know if the chain of thought is going right or not. If it is making mistake in that, it will again, you know, you will be able to find out that whatever the output is correct or not. So this actually, now we are into a gray area where all these AI companies say that AI is capable of doing these XYZ things, and the reality is in front of you right now.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
Right.
I would
Okay.
like
So Chena,
to have just a
yes.
small question where the answer is just plain wrong
Okay.
and get better with explain it step by step.
Okay. Yes.
This would be better for me to understand the concept for chain of thought.
Okay. Mm, yeah. The problem is to get a wrong answer from AI, you have to set it up in a way. We either have to overload the context window or we have to provide it clear context that this is a simulation of chain of thought and you have to give us wrong answers and then reach to the right answer by explaining us step by step. We have to do that because the models have evolved so well that it won't give you a mathematically wrong answer. Okay, so let's.
Um, Perhaps it just get got better, so you don't need chain of thoughts for confirming your answer. You can use it for confirming, but mostly it will be correct without using it.
Yeah, see, this kind of prompt that we are putting right now, which are basically mathematical calculations or something like that, these prompts, it will give you the right answers. There won't be a problem. But the one we used yesterday, whether there was, there was no data crunching, but it was supposed to explain stuff to us with statistics, there it is going to give you a lot of trouble because the numbers and the concepts and everything it is pulling out from its knowledge base, and sometimes it makes it numbers unless you ask it for the resources or something like that, references or chain of thought. Chain of thought is a technique which is good to learn because if you learn it now, you will have it with you, and whenever it is needed in the future, you will be able to use it to validate the outputs of any AI model, not just the ones that are out there to use as a product, but maybe if you are involved into the project of developing some AI model or even a RAG model, let's say for that, you'll be able to use this technique to check if it is giving you the right output and the way it is thinking or not.